So, two very similar albums, Hardwired to Self-Destruct and 72 Seasons. Very similar in sound, very similar in production, very similar in length, and they even have the same amount of songs, which makes me wonder, why is this a 2 CD release and this is just a 1 CD release? They could have just made this one a 1 CD, or 2 CDs if you include the deluxe edition, which is this with 3 CDs. Completely unnecessary. So anyway, hello everybody and welcome to a new video and welcome to my channel where we talk about everything music from death metal to Queen and everything in between. So on this video I am actually going to shoot out track by track Hardwired to Self-Destruct against 72 Seasons. Which one do I like better? Right now I like this one a lot better actually, but comparing track by track that might actually change. You know, it's just luck of the draw. That's all. So on this side of the ring we have Hardwired to Self-Destruct, clocking in at 77 minutes and 42 seconds, released on 2016 and produced by Greg Fiddleman. And on this side of the ring we have 72 Seasons with 12 tracks, clocking in at 77 minutes and 14 seconds, also produced by Greg Fiddleman, which you can definitely tell. I mean, they sound very much alike. I guess after the debacle that Death Magnetic was and how it sounded pretty bad, I guess once he found the sound, he just copied and pasted that onto this. Raised the bass a little bit on the mix and that was it. He didn't really tweak a lot, which I guess I kind of understand. I mean, this sounds great, hence this sounds great. But personally though, I like it better when an album has its own personality. Like this album sounds so much like this album that it's basically kind of like Hardwired Part 2. A lot of people actually commented that on my previous video, and I get it. Anyway, even though I like this album a lot better, I'm actually anticipating a close match here, because I really like the first CD here, but it kind of dips after that on the second CD. And this one is pretty much flat. It doesn't have like really high peaks, but it doesn't really dip so much either. So there's not a lot of songs I hate on this album. But let's see how they do. Alright, so let's get it started. But before we do that, make sure you subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. Make sure you drop me a like and a comment in the comment section down below and let me know which are your favorite songs from each album. And also, if you enjoy the content and you want to help support the channel big time, make sure you go visit my Patreon. A little goes a long way. We surely do appreciate it. Alright, on with the show. Okay, so the first song on each album is the title track. So we have Hardwired to Self-Destruct going against 72 Seasons. And between the two, I like 72 Seasons better. So that point goes for the new album. Track number 2 is Atlas Rise going against Shadows Follow. And I'm going to go with Atlas Rise. Way better song. Track number 3 is Now That We're Dead going against Screaming Suicide. And I'm going to go with Hardwired on that one too. Now That We're Dead. Not one of my favorite songs on this album, but I like it better than Screaming Suicide. I don't really like the chorus on that song. And the verse is just meh to me. So yeah. 2-1. Track number 4 on Hardwired to Self-Destruct is actually one of my favorite songs on the album, Moth into Flame, so I know it's going to win. And it's going against Sleepwalk My Life Away, so yeah, that's an easy choice. Moth into Flame. Coming in on number 5, we have Dream No More going against You Must Burn. And that's a tough one, but I like Dream No More a lot, so I'm going to go with that one, Dream No More. So that's 4-1. And track number 6, and the last one on the first CD on Hardwired to Self-Destruct, is Halo on Fire, going against Lux Eterna, which was, I think, the first single they came up with. And Lux Eterna kind of grew on me. I really hate the solos, but I gotta go with Halo on Fire. It's a great tune. That's 5 for Hardwired to Self-Destruct against 1 on 72 Seasons. But now we get to CD 2, and that's where this album just dips so hard. So now 72 Seasons actually has a chance to come back. So let's see how it does. Okay, so CD number 2 starts off slow with Confusion going against Crown of Barbed Wire. And that goes to 72 Seasons. Starting to make a comeback. Song number 8 is Men Unkind, which is actually kind of a cool song. It kind of grew on me after a few listens, and I really wanted to like it because they actually touched on the story of mayhem and black metal in general, and that was really cool to me because it kind of shone a light to one of my favorite genres. But ultimately though, I didn't really care for the song so much, or the video for that matter. That song is going against Chasing Light, which is not one of my favorite songs on 72 Seasons, but I definitely like it better than Men Unkind. So yeah. Another point for 72 Seasons making a comeback. Song number 9 on Hardwired to Self-Destruct is Here Comes Revenge, which is now one of my favorite songs, but it's actually going against If Darkness Had a Sun, which is by far my least favorite song on 72 Seasons. I hated it when it came out, and I made a video on it, and I got all sorts of shit for it, and I am proud of making that video. So yeah, surprisingly enough, Here Comes Revenge actually gets that point. Now the next one is Am I Savage, which is an okay minus song for me, going against one of my favorite songs from 72 Seasons, which is Too Far Gone, and that takes the point. Hands down, easy choice. So that's actually 6-4, so mathematically speaking, they can actually tie at the end of the album. So let's see what's next. We have Murder harder one going against Room of Mirrors. And I really wanted to like this song because, you know, it talks about Lemmy, and I love Lemmy and I love Motorhead. But more so, I love Lemmy, and I really wanted to like that song because, you know, it's an homage to him. But it's not a great song. It's just, it isn't. And Room of Mirrors is actually not one of my favorite songs either, but between the two, I'm gonna have to go with Mirrors. So 6-5. Holy crap. So let me tell you, I am actually surprised that we got all the way down to the last song and 72 Seasons still has a chance to take it, or at least tie it. I thought it was gonna be more of a landslide because I do like Hardwired to Self-Destruct a lot more than I liked 72 Seasons. But, you know, luck of the draw. You know, there's obviously a lot of songs that had they gone against different songs, they would have won just hands down. But, you know, it's just luck of the draw. It just happens. And that's what makes the track-by-track comparisons so interesting and fun. If you like this content and you like the format, go visit my friend Ralph's channel, which I'll link to in the description down below. He actually invented this, or I don't know if he invented this, but I asked him to copy this format from him and he was gracious enough to let me do it. So thank you, Ralph. Just click on that link below. He's got tons of these, and he's the king of track-by-track comparisons. So go pay him a visit. He also talks a lot about Kiss and Black Sabbath and some of his favorite bands. I mean, the channel itself is called Almost Human, which of course, if you're a Kiss fan, then you know that's one of the songs off of Love Gone, I believe. So yeah, go pay him a visit. I know you'll like his content. Anyway, so the last songs on the albums are Spit Out the Bone on Hardwired to Self-Destruct, going against Inamorata on 72 Seasons. And that to me is actually an easy choice. I just don't get the appeal on this guy. It could have been trimmed down so much. I mean, how many choruses do you actually need on a song? It's 11 minutes long. It could have been 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and it would have been fine. But 11 minutes? And yeah, I get it, very personal lyrics, which I can't really relate to. There's a cool bass interlude. It speeds up towards the end. You get that double bass drum. You know, yeah, I get it. It's cool. But you could have trimmed it down a lot and still have said and done everything you have on that song, on a shorter song. And on the other hand, we have Spit Out the Bone, which is one of my favorite songs on that album. So yeah, Spit Out the Bone takes that point. That makes it 7-5. That was actually a lot tighter than I expected.
That's what he said. Right?
So yeah, 72 Seasons actually making a comeback towards the end and almost tying it. And yeah, of course, there's some virtue to this, but it's also a lot of this album's fault. Because once you get to CD 2, it just goes... And I gotta tell you, I don't understand why they actually divided this album, which is shorter than this, into 2 CDs, but I like the fact that they did, because I can actually listen to CD 1 and just move on to something else after it's done, as opposed to listening to both CDs. So I guess they kind of did me a favor, but had it been 1 CD, I would have probably heard the last 6 songs a lot more than I have. And of course, I guess CD 3 is cool to have, but it adds less value to this album than Kirk Hammett's solos do to this album. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please drop me a like if you did. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel like a man if you haven't yet. And if you really enjoy the content and you want to help support the channel big time, just make sure you become a patron to the channel. A little goes a long way and we surely do appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time. Pat out, middle on, dudes.